everybody, and thank you for joining hashtag No Limits today. Today's episode is pre-recorded. I am on vacation this week. I hope that you all had a wonderful 4th of July and that you are safe and having a wonderful week this week. Hashtag No Limits is about people who society has placed limits upon, but who have busted through those limits. Ophelia says in Hamlet that we know who we are, but not who we will be. And I 100% believe that. And I believe that there is no better example of that than the caterpillar turning into the butterfly. The caterpillar literally dissolves into its cells and then reforms itself into the butterfly. And then it has to struggle to get out of the cocoon in order for its wings to be strong enough for it to fly. And obviously, that's no easy task, but neither is busting through those limits that society has placed upon a person. Now, my guest today, Erica Lyles, is a music therapist down in Florida, and she is one of the people that is coming along and sort of being that cocoon, helping people reform and helping them bust through those limits and giving them the strength to shine. So, Erica, thank you so much for being with us today. How are you?
Oh, thank you so much, Shelly. I'm honored to be here. I am doing fantastic.
Awesome. Awesome. And Erica is a new mom. She has an adorable baby boy who's just a few months old. And her mom and I recently got to meet in person. Her mom and I have known each other for a few months. And so it's been very nice to see Erica and her little baby through her mom's pictures and now having this opportunity. So I definitely want to give a shout out to your mom and thank her for introducing the two of us. So Erica, tell us about yourself and what you're doing now that you're being a support for people.
Wow. So let's see about myself. Originally, I'm from St. Louis, and now I'm in Palm Beach County, Florida. And what brought me here was pursuing my internship for music therapy. So in order to become a music therapist, we have to, do our internship and then pass a board certification exam, which I just got my research completed. So I'll be certified until 2020. Wait, where are we? 26. Oh,
okay.
So that brought me here. Originally, I started working with the hospice population. And then made the transition into the special needs population and more specifically autism. So a lot of people wonder or may wonder what music therapy really is. So I'll explain a little bit about that. Music therapy is the use of music in a therapeutic setting to achieve a therapeutic goal. So, it's evidence-based and it's clinical work. If you think about, the work that maybe an occupational therapist does or a physical therapist does, music therapy can do similar things. It's just we get to use music as our tool and our method and techniques. So, we're helping clients achieve different goals. That's really what makes us stand out from, a musician or a performer. We're all musicians and performers, but, we have that extra skill, that extra training that helps us, to be able to tap in a little bit deeper or a lot deeper. We're helping people with communication skills and goals, helping them to express themselves, helping them with motor functioning, motor skills, helping them emotionally, process emotions and feelings, helping them with mental health needs. So just to kind of give everybody an overview, and we do work in a lot of different settings. Like I mentioned before, we're in the hospice setting. So those goals are, based on end of life care, symptom management, processing grief, things like that. And then now currently working with the special needs population, it's a lot more, like developmental goals. How do we get this client to, make eye contact? How do we get this client to, use words and use their iPad to communicate, but they can do that through a song, Oh, and like I said, we're in a lot of different settings: the hospital setting, geriatric, mental health, substance abuse, private practice, you name it. We're there, we're present, and we're growing. So yeah, I forgot the rest of your question, but just to give everybody an overview of what we do and why I'm here.
Yeah, no, I was taking notes because there's a few things that I wanted to make sure to go back to and ask you. And so, um, I think you answered my question. It was, tell us about yourself and tell us how you got to where you are today. So, what was it about music therapy that you were drawn to? Why did you choose that as your career?
Oh, well, I've always been musical. I started playing violin. I think I was in second grade. Or maybe first. I don't remember. I was young. But I have a musical family. We're always singing and dancing, have music blasting. My parents would let me just sing, till my heart was content in my room, like just and my grandmother, she's musical. My dad, music major. Like it's always been about music for us. So that's been just ingrained in me.
Mhm.
And then I wanted to do something that would help people as well. And I was kind of interested in sciences, but not great at it. So I didn't really see much of a future, becoming like a doctor or something like that. I was like,
Right.
it's not going to be me. And I thought about teaching, but, I was like, I don't know if that's for me either. But I came across at this summer program in St. Louis. I came across this, we were at a college fair there, and came across this counselor for my alma mater, Maryville University. Shout out. Woo, go. Um, and the counselor was talking to me, and I was like, "Yeah, I want to do this. I want to do that." And he said, "Have you heard about music therapy?" And I was like, "What? What's that?"
Yeah.
And so he started to explain it to me, and it was just like, it was just like a match made in heaven. It sounded perfect, and some other connections happened. I knew somebody that worked at the university and all that stuff. So it all just came together, and I was like, this is the perfect, field for me. I mean, I knew instantly, because I know a lot of people kind of struggle. They might
Hmm.
do like general studies when their first semester, and make do another whole career path, and then they end up switching, but I knew I was blessed right then and there, like this is what I have to do, music therapy. And actually, initially I wanted to start out my career with kids and with kids with special needs, but I took a little diversion, but still music therapy. Yeah, that's how it came into my heart.
That's wonderful. So I'm glad that you mentioned that you originally were thinking of going into working with children, because when I think about music therapy, I'm a former special education teacher, so I think music therapy with children. But I want you to speak for just a moment, if you don't mind, about the other music therapy applications. You spoke about hospice, you spoken about geriatrics. So that is not an area that I realized was part of a music therapist's area. So, can you talk a little bit more? I know you mentioned a few things, like for end of life care and that sort of thing, and the grief counseling. Like, what is sort of a typical session like, or maybe more of an overview if that's easier?
Sure. So it's kind of hard to, yeah, I'll give it a general overview because sessions can vary so drastically. You might see a client one day and we're doing one thing, and then the next session is like they need something else.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, with the population that I work with now, since we're working towards like those developmental goals, they kind of end up looking about the same, because it's like we want to see improvement and make sure we're meeting those goals. But as far as like the hospice work, I would go in, with my guitar, get to know the patient, the families, if they were coherent, and able to share. Otherwise, we would look at their charts, their medical charts, and just see like, what their background is, what they liked, if there's any kind of notes like that. Their age, which is always important because, and it's something, good for everyone to know. We don't just use classical music. I think people might say music therapy, you'd probably just play classical music. And
Right.
no, we use whatever our clients like, because that's what they're going to connect with. That's what they're going to
Right.
respond best to. So if I walked into someone's room and, start playing, Bach, and they hate classical music, that's not going to be therapeutic.
Right.
They might want some Metallica or AC/DC or, Stevie Wonder or something like that. And then
Right.
so I'd have to learn, those songs and, and go in there and provide that care for them. So So we get to know their background, and then depending on their symptoms. So if someone was having pain, we might use some relaxation techniques along with the music. So starting off the music, maybe at a faster tempo, maybe to match their breathing rate. And then we will gradually slow the music down. That's the beauty of having the live music, because you can control that and really control the atmosphere and the energy. So we're slowing everything down, and then that client's taking deeper breaths, and then they're more relaxed, and then they fall asleep. So and that, to us, that was an indicator of, okay, they're comfortable, no more pain,
right,
for the moment. So
that's
so
incredible.
Yes, yeah. And for, geriatric population, and we did this a lot in hospice too. We had a lot of clients that had dementia and Alzheimer's.
Mhm.
So, they weren't often able to recall their name, their family's name, interact in a meaningful way. But they could still recall song lyrics and sing along, and some memories would be stirred. That just has to do with how music impacts the brain. It just highlights every region of the brain. So, there's a certain section of the brain that triggers emotional responses. So, you play a song for someone, or, they're singing or something like that, and they might start to cry, or they might start to smile, or they might say, oh yeah, I remember when I was with John and we were driving down the road and we heard this song, So, yeah, it's really beneficial. I think most people experience music in some type of way. So I think that's why it's so powerful. And I mean, music is based on frequencies, and, so are our bodies, and like, it's all interconnected.
Yeah, it really is. And it is such I think there is science behind it. I know you said you weren't excited about the sciences, but
Yeah.
I think that, that the science of, like you said, how the brain is affected by music and the different parts and how they're differently affected by music. One of the other things that I wrote down is I wrote down a student's name from my past, and I'm not going to say the name, but I remember she was nonverbal. And we would have local high school bands. They would come around and perform once or twice a year.
Mm-hmm.
And we would be in the auditorium with a few hundred students. Like the whole school would come in to listen to this band. And there would be tones that the second one of those tones was played, she would start to cry.
Wow.
And there would be songs where, they would have the range of highs and lows and slows and fasts. And she would get it, like when the music got really slow and darker,
Mm-hmm.
and she would cry.
Wow.
She was just amazing at, and I'd look around the auditorium, and there were kids that they were giggling, or they didn't get the connection to the music. Or if they, sometimes they would bring their choirs with them, and if the choir would sing a song, and it would have a sad section in it, she got that.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it was so amazing to watch. And so I've always been interested in how music plays in our development. And I had an aunt one time that she was a former teacher too, and she said, why everybody knows the letters of the alphabet? And I was like, because we all practiced it and we were all taught. And she said, no, because it's to a song.
Mm-hmm.
You learn it because it's to a song. And she says, I firmly believe that if we could teach everything by song, mm-hmm. so much more would be learned and retained.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of speaks to what you said with some of the Alzheimer's patients and some of the patients with dementia, because they're not able to necessarily recall the present, mm-hmm. but those songs that they learned in their younger days are there.
Yes, absolutely.
So
absolutely.
that is, when your mom told me that you were in music therapy, I was very excited, because I feel like this is a field that probably doesn't get the recognition that it deserves. Mm-hmm. And that is definitely something I feel that is helping people bust through limits. I mean, like you talked about, or maybe it was in one of the interviews that I watched on your website, but getting that eye contact, mm-hmm. teaching communication skills. Yeah. Some of those things are limits that the kids are, or even the adults are busting through because of the music therapy.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that is just fascinating. So I think it's on, and I love what you do on your Facebook page. I don't know if you're in charge of it or who's in charge of giving the song lyric for you or your session. I think you give those every day or maybe a couple a day.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's so awesome because they trigger memories, like you said. And then it kind of, you might start thinking about the song, and the songs tend to, for me, make me happy, but there are those songs that, yes, okay, they do make me a little sad because they are attached to sad memories, but
Mm-hmm.
for the most part, it's a very wonderful experience. So what I'm hoping you're seeing now is
Yes.
the Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so I guess this was just posted today, and this is a typical session. So let me back up, share the audio.
And this little boy, he has autism. I've worked with him, and now our other therapist Megan is working with him. But he's so much.
Can you hear it? Is
Uh-huh.
this okay?
So she's really like letting him lead, but nonverbal.
So your volume isn't messing up. He is getting louder, and when he gets louder, she gets louder, and when he got softer, she got softer. So I did just want to make that clear so that somebody didn't think, oh, my volume's all messed up. It got really loud, and then I couldn't hear it.
That's
So
a really good point.
So I really like that part of the therapy, and I was happy to have you explain what was happening. Now, where did it go? What was happening in the session itself, because
Oh, there. Oh,
allowing, yeah, it's right here, allowing the child to lead the session.
Mm-hmm.
I bet that's very important.
It's huge. I wanted to touch on that because I mean, as a lot of this population, they don't get the chance to make, choices and decisions, because they're deemed as unable to. And this particular client, I mean, he's really young anyway. He's about 5 years old, so but
Yeah.
but still, it's empowering. It gives him a chance to say, "Hey, someone's listening to me. Someone's validating." It's really validating to have somebody, back you up in a sense this time, not being told what to do, but like, hey, you express yourself in the way that you need to, and I'm going to listen, and I'm going to, do whatever I can to support you. So there's a lot happening, to someone that's just, popping on. They may say, oh, it's just a kid playing a drum, but there's a lot of like rich things, that are coming from that, and he's making eye contact, and, he's following it while he still has that sense of control. He's still following directions because he's sitting down nicely, and he's holding the drumsticks nice. And, this is huge because, especially for somebody who, maybe has behavior issues or, doesn't really like open up or express themselves. So a lot of cool things are really happening during this moment.
Yeah. And I'm so glad that you explained that, because you're right. Somebody could just look at this as, well, it's just my, like I do that with my kid at home. I let them play their drums, but it's the interaction.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you said, it's the following directions and understanding that, hey, I'm kind of in charge here because she's doing what I'm doing versus the other way around.
Right.
And yeah, getting that one-on-one. So this looks to me, and please correct me if I'm wrong, that this is in maybe the little guy's home.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And so you are able to do individual sessions, but do you also have group therapy sessions? And if you do, what does that look like compared to an individual session?
Oh, sure. Yes, we absolutely have group sessions. So we've been fortunate enough to be able to push our individual sessions into the homes now, which is very helpful for families. And, it helps the clients as well because they're in a familiar space. They can really just let their hair down, so to speak.
Right.
But for the group sessions, we're currently I don't know, am I allowed to say like names of institutions? I did say my school earlier.
I think so.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
mean that, yeah. I mean,
okay.
it's, I don't care.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. I just want, I don't know. I just want to make sure. But we do groups up at the L Center of Excellence in Jupiter.
Okay.
So that is like Autism Universe. We have a lower school there, a high school there, and then everything in between, and outside of that, community programs as well.
Uh-huh.
So we do groups up there, and then every so often we'll do groups outside of there. But the groups there, you know, the goals are more focused on social interactions, motor functioning, making choices. So while, clients still benefit from their own experience, um,
Hmm.
it's more catered towards like the group experience as well. So, our therapists, we're always asking, okay, hey, let's participate. Hey, engage this way. Hey, it's your turn. Hey, this, but still it's more about everybody coming together, in whatever way that they can, whatever way that they want to. So we've had groups that are very mixed. So we may have groups of clients that are super vocal and verbal and expressive and kind of run the show, and then we have some in the group that may not be verbal, or they may use their communication device, like their iPad to, make choices in the group. So the beautiful thing about that is that everybody can come together, like I said before, but everybody can participate, and
Yeah.
I think in any other type of a setting, it would kind of be unheard of, to bring, a group of people with autism together. It's like, I don't know if that's a good idea, but, with music, like I think music helps you achieve the unthinkable.
Yeah, I tend to think that too, because it's such a coming together type of environment. It always seems like, if you're somewhere and all of a sudden a song comes on and several people recognize the song, you can just see there's a change.
Mhm.
If you're walking around the mall,
Right.
and a song comes over the PA system, and you might start seeing people sway or smile, or tapping their foot if they're sitting still, or maybe some people, I mean, I embarrass my family all the time because when we're at our local Target or, Walmart, and I hear a song come over, I'll start dancing depending on, the song and the kind of mood that I'm in.
Yeah.
And, a lot of times they're like, okay, I don't know you. And, they walk away. But sometimes they're just like, whatever, it's mom, or it's my wife. With the masks, it helped a little bit because they're like, okay, nobody can really tell who I am. So,
Right, right, yeah, yeah. Like I see something, I hear something. Okay,
yeah.
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 Because you sound like me, but I sing, so I just sing out loud. I'm just like walking down
Yeah.
the hill, so it's okay.
Well, I've done that over the years. I'll hear a phrase that will trigger, some tune in my head from some other, and so I'll change the words of the song to match, whatever. And yeah, I randomly break out in songs lyrics that aren't real song lyrics, and I did that with my students, and we incorporated music a lot, and I tried um to have maybe some classical music playing during downtime, or some quiet, some sort of music when they were taking assessments or doing assessments, trying to stimulate and calm all of this, stimulate the parts of the brain that I wanted to activate while they were trying to get this information out, but calm the rest of them so that they weren't so worried about the assessment, whatever kind of, whether it was just a classroom test or a standardized assessment or whatever. And, but I didn't do as much research as probably, could have been done as far as really triggering and getting specific kinds of music for specific situations.
Mhm.
And what you just mentioned, not all of my students cared for classical music. So that wasn't always a motivator for them.
Yeah, exactly.
That became a distraction for some people because then they had to block that sound out.
Mhm.
Um, and so, yeah, understanding that, I was so thankful when the like the iPods came out and I could put specific songs
Uh-huh.
and then give that with headphones to specific students. And
Mhm.
then it wasn't everybody having to listen, to the same thing. And it was always interesting to me, some of the music that some of the kids said, no, really, this helps me calm down. And I'm thinking, this is like you said, like Metallica. And I'm like, how is that calming?
Yes, exactly, exactly. It's amazing, and it's like music is so awesome for that because it can be simple or it can be complex, So someone really might need that just simplicity, of just someone humming, versus they need the complexity of jazz or heavy metal or whatever, So
right. Have there been, that leads me to a thought that I didn't have prior to just a second ago. Are there certain types of music that it's been determined tend to work better for maybe people with certain disabilities? Has that been narrowed down that much?
You know what? I don't know. I don't believe so. In my own experiences, it's been whatever, the clients
The
gravitate
individual.
to, whatever they prefer. It would be good to check and see, if there's been studies specifically on that. But just in experiences with across the board with all clients, it's just really like whatever, they prefer.
Yeah. And that's what it was for me in special education too. I never wanted to say, oh, well, this student has autism or Down syndrome or cerebral palsy. And so therefore, this is the program I have to use because this is what I've been told works. Because each person that came to me was a person first, and they were an individual person and they had their own styles. And so I'm glad in a way that you didn't really have a perfect answer for that.
Yeah.
Because that tells me that you really are about the individuals that you're working with and trying to meet them where they are and find their personal interests.
Yeah.
So and I don't remember, I think I found it on your website, so I'm gonna jump over and see if I can find it. But I thought I had it marked. I do have it marked. So this is something, I guess this is kind of that group therapy that we mentioned just a few minutes ago, the interability chorus.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking at your website, and this is from the Palm Beach County fall of 2019. I'm guessing that 2020 was not a great year for music therapy in your business. So what I'm going to share here, I have to actually switch for just a second because I don't know if it's not pulled up. Hang on 1 second. So what I'm going to share is it's an 8-minute video, but I'm only going to share about the last minute of it. And it was your organization and one specific person in your organization that I got it. Okay. I'm trying to figure out like which tab did I have it on. And so the rest of the video is little pictures of you guys preparing, and then there's individuals that are in here that you talk about, kind of give their names and stuff. And this is the very last bit of that video. And I found this really, really cool. And I hope that everyone else does too. I'm going to try to start.
Oh, yeah.
So, now that you've seen it a little bit, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully I shared can you hear it?
Yes.
Okay.
Holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly.
Oh.
Well, I don't know why that happened. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Sleep in heavenly peace. Good job.
Yay.
So most people I presume, and I'll be honest, I probably had the same limit in my head at one point of, well, singing is with your voice.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't necessarily have associated sign language with singing.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But obviously he is part of the Interability Chorus,
Yes.
and I will let you tell what that is and then share about this gentleman and how that all happens in the chorus and everything.
Yeah. So the Interability Chorus, that's my other baby. And it was birthed from I've had a lot of experience working with this population, and I've done some smaller choirs at our adjacent high school. We also do this group up at the L Center. Whole Vibes collaborates with the Palm Beach Opera and the L Center of Excellence for this particular group. But at our high school, I've done numerous small choir groups and a guitar group. And I'm really big on performance. And I think there's so much therapeutic benefit that comes from performing, that doesn't always get tapped into. I think sometimes, maybe on a smaller scale, but I like to do things big. So the Interability Chorus was birthed, between myself and the Palm Beach Opera team. We started a relationship with the school and them. And I said, hey, you know what? You guys have teaching artists that are really great with our students. Like, there's something here, and I wanted to create a program because, as but maybe your listeners don't, a lot of, not a lot of, all of our high school students, they age out at 22. So, it's like, where do they go after that? What do they do?
Right.
We have all these cool activities for them, at school, after school, but then it's like, they might go to a group home and then that's it. Who knows what is there for them outside of school if they can't get a job, for example. So anyway, that's where my mindset was. I was like, okay, I want to reach that population, the adults. And so we started the Interability Chorus, and I was like, this choir thing works so well. We have these awesome partners. And then, I think there's a need for this, so our guys, need something else to do, and something positive and expressive, that they enjoy. So, right. So we started the Interability Chorus, that same year. That was after our first performance, that video. But the goal, and what I always tell people is that I believe my personal philosophy is that anyone could be successful in making music. So, it just might not look like what you and I think, like you said before, you're like, I didn't think, someone could sign and that would be, they'd be able to participate in a chorus. Mm-hmm. But to me, it's like, however we can get them to engage. So in my smaller choirs, we've had, and actually that same gentleman that was in the back seat, he's used his iPad to communicate and sing along with us as well, in addition to the sign language. So, I'm like, okay, everyone has a voice. We just got to figure it out. We haven't had anyone that like hasn't been able to do either yet, because I'm ready to, if someone wants to participate and they want to hold a shaker and shake, mm-hmm. fine. That's cool. That's your voice, So, so when that time comes, we'll be ready for them. But, awesome. The Interability Chorus, it's for ages 16 and up, and for all abilities. So the interability part, that's where that kind of comes from. Mm-hmm. And the fact that we're working with, the Palm Beach Opera. So that's why I was like, okay, that's a neat kind of catchy, it's a different kind of name. But we rehearse kind of for like a semester, you might as well say. And then we perform at the end of the season. So COVID did kind of knock us out a little bit. We did start rehearsing online, but it was absolutely, it was rough.
I would think so.
Yeah, doing things with the group in general and like getting people to sing at the same time on Zoom, like it was just like it wasn't them, it was just the platform itself,
sure. Yeah.
So we struggled a bit. So we ended up doing like one big performance, and someone edited a video for us and all of that. I should put that up there too, and share that with you guys. And then let's see what else happened. So, and then of course, we're able to meet in person again, but then we have to be outside, and then we have to have masks on, and it's hot. We just had our fourth season chorus concert in June. So we're still plugging away, but it's great because we have various levels of functioning. I'll say. We have our guys again, like the group setting I illustrated before. We have those that are really social and can really sing, really, really like wow, you can actually sing. And then we have our guys that do sign language and may not really talk to anybody in the group, but they'll still sing a little bit, really soft, so but they're still learning skills. So another goal besides just the interactive piece of it, and just getting our guys to enjoy the experience, is to get them to perform, because that's huge. I think we're breaking barriers with that in itself. Something that I learned early on working with one of our lower schools, is that it's not about the perfection of it, but like it's just about the action of it, the fact that we're like doing it, because to the parents in the audience, it's like their son or daughter is performing on the Met stage,
Right.
and it's like, so yeah, I don't know if I kind of got lost in my words, but
no, you're good.
It's a really great experience for everybody involved. Our teams, we learn a lot, but we have our guys, our singers, they come back, every season, and we really want to hope to expand someday as well. So.
Yeah, that sounds like an amazing program that would benefit so many people just anywhere. But yeah, I'm trying to think how this works. Like, do you just do private sessions, or do you go into schools, and is there music therapy in schools, or are they more just music programs, where it's teaching how to read music and how to play instruments and that sort of thing?
So it's very interesting that you asked that. It's kind of like a hodgepodge of everything. Okay. So I've really created the music programs at the certain school that we contract with now. I used to work there full time and all of that. So it's been a lot of trying to like figure it out as I went along. I've been there for years now, so I have a really good system going, thank God. But it was like, okay, we need to try to meet these standards, but I'm not a teacher, I'm a music therapist,
right.
So, okay, what are we gonna do to meet those standards? And it's like, oh, use your music therapy skills to help achieve those goals too. It just looks a little bit different. So I say that it's the best of both worlds, because the students, if they're able, to really grasp that, like, this is what a music note sounds like and is, you know what I mean? Like the more abstract part of music. If they're able to grasp that, great. So then we're on a track, to really learn, I've taught many classes guitar, how to play piano, they know solfege notes, they know a lot of different like technical music aspects. But then like, if we have a group that's not so high functioning, I'll say, for lack of a better term, then they get that music therapy component, but they're still learning at the same time. Does that make sense? They'll get that social interaction. So it's like they get the best of both worlds, because I'm coming at it, I'm teaching from a music therapist standpoint. So it's like, okay, this really isn't going great. Let's shift to this, and then get everybody involved, and then this will be our goal for the class. So, for some classes, I've come up with like hygiene songs. And, this is how we behave. This is how we express ourselves. This is how we relax. And that's great, because they're still learning.
Right.
But, not necessarily the strict music stuff, or, maybe they'll, we have color coded instruments and, handbells and boom whackers and things like that, So it's like, okay, they can match colors. That's a good skill. That's an educational skill.
Right.
But it's also therapeutic, at the same time. So, yeah, so it's like a mixture of things.
Well, that's good. I mean, that's very important. So I'm going to share my screen again, because I'm looking at your website. So I want to make sure that my audience can see what the website is, and the address. Whoops, I missed the I missed the tab that I was supposed to click on.
Uh-oh.
There. Okay. Hopefully there we go. So the website is wholevibes.com. I'm sorry, mywholevibes.com. And yeah, under the Songs for You tab, we have all kinds of different songs here. So this one says it's for relaxing. This one is washing your hands. This one is calming down. And then here's another one for washing hands. So I'm going to, how long are these? Do you know?
Probably like a couple minutes each.
Okay. I'm just going to play this one, because I mean, I feel like anybody can use this one, the calming down one.
I can calm down anywhere. I can take a deep breath in and out. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. I can calm down anywhere. I can count to 5. 1. We encourage everybody, count with us. 2. Focus. 3. Participating. 4. Calming down. 5. I can calm down anywhere. I can have a quiet voice. And we encourage everybody, this is what a quiet voice looks like.
Oh, okay.
And that way, if they're like talking or something for some reason, get back to quiet voice.
And this is you singing, right?
Yes.
You have a beautiful voice. And I imagine this is you also playing.
Mm-hmm. So then just drop the music and give everybody a chance to feel, just, have a moment of relaxing without someone saying
right.
And then, we, again, with the live music, you can repeat whatever as many times, go back to another part that needs to be reinforced, so.
Yeah. And I mean, anybody can use that. I mean, I think, they don't, I think everybody could benefit from hearing that. Is there any other tab that you want me to jump to? Is there anything that you want me to show? If not, I'll stop sharing your website.
We do the video resources, and we do more of those now on Instagram and Facebook. But we love to, just share ways that music can be used for the music therapist, the music teacher, or, regular Joe Schmo. If you need ideas, those are really great tools, to tap into.
Yeah. So colorful music therapy. Tell me about that one. That one looked interesting.
You know what? I think I don't remember. We post so much stuff.
All right. You want me to play it?
Yeah, sure. Okay. I'm always thinking about
Happy summer, everybody. Erica here from Whole Vibes Music Therapy and Music Experiences in Palm Beach County. I'm bringing you my top 5 favorite ways to use my new favorite supply. You ready for it? It's a big deal. Multicolored popsicle sticks. Can you believe that? For music therapy? Check these out. Okay, my number one way to use these cool tools is to evoke emotional discussion and connection. So one way to do that is to simply write emotions on the stick. That one says fear, This one, happiness, and I picked those colors for a reason. Sadness. And this one really isn't a feeling, but I put friendship. So really the goal with that, and I would use this with one of my adult groups, is to, elicit emotion. So think of a song that, reminds you of being happy, or think of a song that makes you feel sad. And then we would go deeper into why does it make you feel this way? So then going a step further, you could take these, log the responses, and then the clients will be able to identify what songs make them feel a certain way and why. And maybe they need to avoid those songs. Maybe they're triggers for them. Or maybe they need to gravitate to those songs a little bit more. Maybe those songs are really healing. So it's just really about awareness. Okay.
All right, I'm going to stop that there. That's awesome. I mean, for me to pick that one, and it happened to be the one that was Welcome Summer, and here we are in summer. So
Good job.
that was fabulous. I did good.
Good job. I know. You're like, what is it? I'm like, I don't remember.
That's what's so good about this show is God leads me to things, and and it's a very relaxed show, and things just happen sometimes. So that is your website. So that was mywholevibes.com, and then you have your Facebook page, which we saw. And while I'm jumping over to your, unless there's something else you want me to show from the website, sorry.
No, nothing specifically.
Okay. So make sure you guys, if you go to her website, that you check out the video resources, and that one was the color strategy. So I think it was the third or fourth one on the scroll. And so on your YouTube page, before I get over there, I did want to talk to you about your numbers. So how many students do you typically work with in a school year, and then how many clients do you have, or how many members do you have in the Interability Chorus?
Okay, so during the school year, we work with approximately 130 students.
Wow.
Because we work with the entire school. So as we've touched on before about, are you doing music therapy in the classroom? Are you doing education part? In this case, everybody comes to music class. So like I said, it just kind of depends on whatever goals we're working on in each class. So yeah, about 130 students there. And then the Interability Chorus, we usually have about 15 per season. Sometimes the numbers fluctuate, up or down. We're still pretty new, but we're hoping to grow. And then as far as clients in the community, we are up to about 30. So, we're growing. We have a team of therapists that go into the homes now. And I want to say that, something good that came out of COVID was, the ability to start doing virtual sessions one-on-one. That's been better than the whole group thing online.
Yeah.
So we've been able to serve clients, all the way up in Washington State. And then, clients that are still homebound, but local. So, we're getting bigger and, serving more. So we're very excited about that.
That's awesome. So here's your YouTube channel. And looks like, not really sure how many videos are here, but, is there one, there's your colorful music therapy one again.
Oh, yeah.
Is there one that you see that you want me, that would maybe showcase the Interability? Would this one here actually show them singing? Does it look like it? It looks like it's practice still.
Let's see. If you go back, I don't know if we have anything that shows specifically singing. I know we have different ones of the chorus. I think any one of the chorus, I'm trying to remember. I know we had a news promo. I put it on there. And then, yeah, I'm not sure which one specifically, but any one of those.
Let's see. Yeah, that one. These are all, that's you. Sorry, not trying to skip over you, but
maybe special needs chorus in Palm Beach. I know that I think that one was the news promo.
This
of course we
oceanside
have to watch
verbal is about to
advertisements
become the
first.
backdrop for an unforgettable
I need to get
vacation.
some up there. That's a good.
I call it my babe. I really wanted a chance to bring this into the community, because I know there's so many people with various abilities.
Erica Lyles is a music therapist directing a diverse choir of voices that many may ignore.
We have one gentleman who does sign language, which is great, because it's like, okay, who says you have to absolutely sing, to be able to be a part of this?
These singers are all on the autism spectrum, all over 16. Some have lived their whole life feeling different. But on this stage at the L Center for Excellence, they are the stars.
Who washed Washington's white woolen underwear when Washington's washerwoman
It's our favorite one.
went west?
From being shy and really closed off, maybe not being able to make eye contact or communicate or express themselves or really use words, to being able to perform in front of people.
That is just what they will be doing in December, a big holiday show with the help of the Palm Beach Opera.
We just believe that everybody has a story to tell and that music is the way to do that.
The symphony of special singers is allowing many to hit a high note.
I feel that we each have our own tastes,
And that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. It sure is.
That is music to the ears of the woman who wrote the first chorus of what is sure to be a big hit.
My biggest excitement is when I see somebody up there and they're smiling because they're proud of themselves.
Riding in a one-horse sleigh.
Oh, memories. That was when we first started. So excited.
Now, I know I did find on your Facebook page, the problem that I have though is that it is sideways.
Yeah.
It looks like this is from when you had maybe your summer concert this past June.
Yeah.
Well, we're still in June. I guess I shouldn't say your
No,
past.
I'm like, it's crazy. Yeah. We're working on technology. That's my next endeavor. Figure that out next time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So did you live stream this? Is that, yeah, it says it was live. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, you can see, here's the picture of the whole group. It looks like, looks like y'all had Mickey Mouse ears on, and
yeah, we did a Disney theme for the show. So
yeah, so that's awesome.
yeah.
We have just a few minutes left, and I want to make sure that, we have covered everything that you wanted to cover today, and to give you an opportunity to say whatever else is on your heart or whatever else you wanted to. I think we covered the things that we said we wanted to cover. So, but in case something else popped up or we didn't cover something as thoroughly.
Oh, there's nothing else I can think of. I mean, just, reiterate, like, it's just so important. Music is so powerful. And, to go with your show name, No Limits. I mean, you can't have any limits when you're making music. I mean, you can just remove them all, and just allowing someone to participate in their own way is so huge, and it can, encourage them to move further. I like the fact that some of our students that I've had over the years, some of them have pursued, playing instruments outside of, the small guitar
awesome.
we had at school, or, whatever. Like, this is, we all have those opportunities in front of us. Like, everybody should, I think people with special needs and, disabilities, and they should have those same opportunities. And a lot of times they're like amazing and better at it than because, a lot of, I've had several clients with autism, and they have perfect pitch, and you're like, what? I don't even have that. Like, what are you, so we don't underestimate anyone.
Yeah, absolutely. So I just want to make it clear that you do see clients locally, but thanks to the pandemic, you've realized that you can reach out to clients across the country, or clients can reach out to you from across the country.
Yes.
Okay, so if anybody's watching, because this is on YouTube, so it is a worldwide thing. So you may become an international teacher. You might have somebody that watches me, or watches this from overseas somewhere, and they can reach out to you as well. And so again, the website is mywholevibes.com, and it won't let me put comments in right now because we're pre-recording this for the episode airing, but I will make sure to put the website on there the day of, or maybe not exactly when it pops up, but as soon as I remember that it's on there, since I'll be on vacation next week. Or I'm on vacation while this airs. I should say that, like I'm doing this intentionally. And yeah, and then the Facebook page is Whole Vibes.
At Whole Vibes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And are you also on Instagram, or is it okay?
Yeah,
and,
at My Whole Vibes. Everything's the same. At My Whole Vibes.
Okay, perfect. Awesome.
Yeah.
Erica, thank you so much for being part of the show today. I so appreciate you and everything that you are doing. I love music, and I myself was in choir when I was in junior high and high school, and then at church. And I love to sing. I'm probably not as good at it as your voice was absolutely beautiful as you were singing that song before. But yeah, I think music is if there is one thing that connects everybody or is universal, I think music is it, because it doesn't have to have words in order to react to it.
Yes. Yeah.
So
agreed. Thank you so much for having me. It's been such a pleasure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, next time you see your mama, give her a hug from me, or I'll give her a hug from you if I see her first.
Okay.
So, all right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.